Welcome back, everybody. Talking about overconfidence and continuing this conversation. But before we do, I want to propose a question to you. I have two pictures in my hand that I will show you. One picture is of a bale of hay, and the other picture is a bucket of water. And so I'm going to go ahead and post both of these and say one is a bale of hay and one is a bucket of water. And you can just identify which ones you think are hay and water. So, and then once you've locked in your answer, I want to ask you now, how confident are you in this answer? And we just did our 90% confidence interval. And if you were like most, every single one of my classes, you have underachieved that by almost double. So, how are you feeling now about the bale of hay and the bucket of water? And so I'll go ask people in class, what's your confidence level, and see what people think. And what's really interesting about that is you really push in, you go, uh, probably I'm 95, 99% sure, but all right, what's the catch? Because we've been talking about this overconfidence. Where are you going with this? And so we usually get everybody with levels of confidence under 100%. And the point of this whole exercise is to show you what is called underconfidence. And I felt like that's a great time to place this in here. Underconfidence is when tasks are extremely easy, we can be underconfident. So this is the classic overthinking something. And so obviously with this one now it is obvious, yeah, this is hay and that's a bucket of water. I wasn't trying to trick you. And this is where we have this underconfidence. That's when tasks are easy, we tend to overthink things. And so let's not forget that underconfidence is a thing. And sometimes we do this in our workplaces where we have a challenging job and we're asking for our boss's help, but then we get a really easy task. And we sometimes have this natural inclination to go ask them. And the boss is like, okay, you got to do something on your own. I definitely have that with my kids sometimes as well. So anyway, underconfidence is a thing. Let's go back now to overconfidence. And I want to talk to you about some of the demographics. So who tend to be the most overconfident? And so this has been studied over all different countries, all different demographics, and these tend to be the three consistently significant drivers. Okay, so when we think about who is the most overconfident, let's talk first males and females, men and women, and those who identify as such. Which one would you like to admit is more overconfident in all these surveys? And I'll just go ahead and say it. It's the men who are more overconfident. And what about, I'm going to serve this up to you, but you need to tell me the direction. So, education. Education. So, higher education, what do you think does to overconfidence? The more educated you are, so intuitively you would think the more educated I am, the more I can identify my overconfidence, but that has simply not been proven to be the case. People who are more educated, the higher degrees that people have, the more overconfident they become. Now think about it. If you have your degrees, you feel this pressure that you should know it. And so your intervals, instead of saying the magic words, I don't know, you feel the pressure of, oh man, I've got my doctorate. I should know this. And you fall into this trap of having too narrow of intervals, are miscalculated, and overly confident in a lot of areas. So overconfidence is up the higher education you have. Number 3, this one's an interesting one, math. If you're better than math, what do you think happens to your overconfidence? Once again, my intuition says, if I'm good at math, I should be able to calibrate better. But the results show that those who have shown themselves to be better than at math are more overconfident. And once again, I'm really good at math. And so I have this pressure to feel like I should know how to do this or make this forecast or do whatever is asked of me and be above average at all these things. And so all of these factors contribute to this overconfidence. And so if you were to look at this and need a reminder of who overconfidence is, you don't really need to look any further than the person who is standing here in front of you, who checks all of the boxes here. So those are the 3 main identifiers of these overconfidence. On our next video, we're going to talk about why we don't learn from our overconfidence. And there's 3 different factors. So I'll see you on that next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.